Okay. So before I start, a little bit about myself. I am Mohammed, a Microsoft 365 and SharePoint developer and tech lead at Atea Global Services. I am passionate about contributing to the community and crafting solutions for Teams and SharePoint online. You can connect with me on social platforms that mentioned in the slide. Also, check out my GitHub repo samples and my blog website. The agenda for today is going to be about an introduction about graph connectors, the challenges, then the solution, and then how to build a custom graph connector for Microsoft 365 Roadmap content. Then some prerequisites for our sample and minimal path to awesome. And then the fun part, which is exploring the code and demo and the GitHub repo sample. So in today's rapidly evolving digital workplace, Microsoft 365 is at the forefront of delivering innovative features and updates that enhance productivity and collaboration. However, keeping up with these frequent changes and aligning them with your organization's need can be a little bit challenging. Microsoft 365's roadmap includes, and all of us know, hundreds of features spanning across multiple services like Teams, SharePoint, and Outlook. Staying informed about all these features often requires manually checking the roadmap site or relying on periodic updates, which can lead to missed opportunities or delaying of some adoption. The roadmap updates are not natively integrated with tools that organizations use to track and manage features rollouts. And the challenges here is that Microsoft Roadmap includes hundreds of features, and it's not easy to stay informed about all these features. And the roadmap updates, as I mentioned, are not natively integrated with tools that organizations use. Then what would be the solution? The solution could be a Microsoft Graph custom connector for Microsoft 365 Roadmap content. Why? Because Microsoft Graph connector let you centralize the content on Microsoft 365 by importing external content, which is Microsoft 365 Roadmap content, to Microsoft 365. You not only make it easier to find relevant information, but also let others in your organization discover your content. In this demo, I'm focusing only on building a custom connector for ingesting the content of Microsoft 365 Roadmap features updates. And the custom connector uses Microsoft Graph APIs to create external connection and deploy the schema to communicate with Graph APIs, and then it authenticates with Microsoft 365 using a Microsoft Entra app registration. There are three main steps in order to achieve that. First, configuring a Microsoft Entra app ID registration, and you should grant the application permissions that are mentioned here, the external connection .readwrite, owned by, which allows the connector to create the connection and deploy the schema. Also, the external item read write dot owned by, which allows the connector to ingest external items. Both permissions allow the connector to only access the connection and items it owns, which is the recommended security practice. I have created this Microsoft Entra app registration to save some time, so it's ready. And also I added the client ID, tenant ID, secret key, and it's saved in my C# console app that we are going to present today. The second configuration that we would need in order to build the custom graph connector is create an external connection. A custom graph connector creates an external connection using the external connection Microsoft Graph endpoint. And when creating a connection, you need to specify its ID, name, description. The ID must be unique in your Microsoft 365. Then the last part for our configuration is deploying the schema. After create an external connection, you should deploy the schema. The schema consists of one or more properties. For each property, you need to specify its name and type of data it stores. You can also define whether its data should be used for full text search and sorting. Then after that, you can add one or more semantic labels that help Microsoft 365 understanding what information the property represents. For running our console app that will create the connection, the schema for us, it's a console app. And in order for our app to run, we have some prerequisites. And the prerequisites, Microsoft 365 developer tenant, also .NET 8, Microsoft PowerShell, and the Entra app ID that I mentioned in the previous slide. Also, there are some minimal paths to awesome by cloning the repository that I will share in a moment with you, and adding the information about Entra app ID to the project secrets. This is something easy that you can do by running these commandlets by initializing the user secrets, then set the client ID, client secret, tenant ID for your console app. Building the project, all of us know, I believe, .NET build to build your project, and then .NET run provision connection command to create the external connection, and then ingesting the content to Microsoft 365 by running this commandlet in the console app, .NET run load content. One more thing that you could add to improve how the search results in your SharePoint will look like is adding a result type in the admin center for having a different layout for the Microsoft 365 roadmap content in your search results in SharePoint. We will see that in a moment. Then let's maybe exploring the code. It's a simple console app. You can find it in the GitHub repo. Yeah, it's under Graph Connector Samples. And this is a screenshot of how you will see the results when you search for maybe SharePoint in the SharePoint search page to get results about Microsoft 365 Roadmap. Why I'm showing you the results here from the screenshots? Because guess what? I prepared for my demo yesterday, but today when I tested before our demo, I haven't seen um, the the result type that I added for Microsoft 365 Roadmap. However, I added here one vertical for Microsoft 365 Roadmap content. It's not here. But yeah, it happens. So this is why I'm showing you how the results will be in your SharePoint search page. Okay, let's exploring the code. I have one configuration to set the URL that I will be using to get XML content of Microsoft 365 Roadmap. In the connection configuration, I have set the external connection and its properties, which is the ID, name, and description. This will be unique ID for the graph connector in your tenant. Also, the schema that I created is also very simple, just title, description, icon URL, and URL. Definitely you can contribute and add more properties because we have more properties in the roadmap content, like the general availability date and lots of data still we can ingest, like yeah, all these categories about the general availability of every roadmap feature, and all these categories, and the published date and the updated date and the GA date. Going back to the schema, yeah, this is how it looks. And then also I have set up my graph client by passing the client ID, client secret tenant ID this way. And the first thing that we should do after building the project is to run the command that will create the connection. And by running this command, it will create the connection to Microsoft 365 using Graph APIs. And then it will create the schema. Yeah, so provisioning the connection contains two functions, one to create the connection and one to create the schema. Once we create the connection and schema, we will be ready to ingest our content. The content service here, it has a definition for the RSS item and also the RSS channel and the channel, because I'm retrieving the XML data of Microsoft 365 and loading it to Microsoft 365 using our graph connector. Yeah, and here in the content service, I am relying on these three main functions: extract and transform and loading the content. Let's maybe try to run the demo. I believe that it will take time to load the content. I already loaded the content, but I can maybe run it in the background while exploring the results in SharePoint. So I run the .NET Run to build my project, and here from the program, we can also create the connection. It's already created, but let's see what it will give us. Okay, let's take it from our slides. Yeah, I forgot to add run.NET Run again. It will say something like this connection is already created because it's already created in my tenant, but it will just make sure that it is created. Let's just check here. Yeah, it's here. And these are the properties of my graph, custom graph connector for roadmap content. Yeah, the specified resource name already exists. Let's also try to load the content. It's already loaded and it will take time, but let's run it in the background to also show you how it will work by loading all the XML data that we extracted from the roadmap content and loading it to Microsoft Graph. Yeah, it's loading it items one by one. And in the meanwhile, let's check maybe it will work. So this is the graph connector. And in the customization, I added also this vertical to see the results related to Microsoft Roadmap feature. But for some reasons, I don't see it here. However, I made sure yesterday that it's here and it's returning results. But yeah, anyway, this is how it will look like if you search for maybe SharePoint. And we have maybe some related features to SharePoint, like SharePoint Copilot in SharePoint. And I wanted to say here that this screenshot has been taken long time ago when it was Copilot in SharePoint, and also, yeah, some other features related to SharePoint like that. Yeah, wanted also to last thing to show it to you here is the result type. You can customize your result type here to customize the result that you will see in the Microsoft search. Important thing also that your content of Microsoft Roadmap in Microsoft 365 is also could be found in Copilot. By asking Copilot, you will get results about Microsoft Roadmap content.
This is awesome stuff, Mohammed. Thank you. Just a friendly reminder. Oh, you're wrapping up on the references. Awesome.
Yes. So these are the references, and thank you. And feel free to review the sample code in GitHub. I would love to hear from you about any potential updates or enhancements you identify. Thank you.